The other day I watched some of China's massive military parade. At one point Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin were praising veterans of World War II. Apparently one of these veterans was from the Kuomintang.
And President Xi Jinping and international dignitaries are shaking hands with a 99-year-old veteran, 100-year-old veteran from the 8th Route Army, 94-year-old veteran from the 8th Route Army, 102-year-old veteran from the new 8th Route Army, and from South China Guerrilla Force, 100-year-old veteran from the Kuomintang.
This is interesting. The Kuomintang were the enemies of the Chinese communists. Led by Chiang Kai-shek, they fled to Taiwan and established that country. It is interesting to see Xi Jinping shaking the hand of a man who fought against the Chinese Communist Party, or at least belonged to an organisation that was strongly opposed to the Chinese Communist Party. But it does not surprise me. It shows the transition that Xi Jinping represents. A further transition away from communism and towards nationalism. This interaction perfectly shows that the emphasis has shifted from communism to nationalism. That explains the praise for such a veteran. He may have been an enemy of the communists, but this is overlooked because he was also an enemy of the foreign invader. And for someone who values nationalism above communism, the Japanese are a greater enemy than any KMT soldier. Xi Jinping has presided over the trend of a realignment in Chinese ideology, away from communism and towards Chinese nationalism. We see a massive amount of emphasis on the latter and very little on the former. And this fundamentally changes China's position on the world stage. It represents a transition away from a dictatorship that pretends to be communist towards a more fascistic state. Fascists love China, and understandably so. China is a nationalistic, militaristic, authoritarian society that places significant emphasis on order and security. The dominant Han Chinese population is elevated and dominates the society. Internal dissent is stomped out. A capitalist system is kept in place, but with a powerful state dominating it. Of course, the fascists love these arrangements. The big question is, will China attempt to export this ideology or not? The USA and the Soviet Union famously attempted to export their ideologies abroad. But will China do this? And does their ideology even have the appeal to make such an effort worthwhile? Liberalism and communism have various features that make them appealing to other countries and other peoples. But what does China have to export? Can they become an ideational power, and will they bother even trying? Is such a thing necessary to truly challenge the USA? Is this a good chance to exploit the ideational collapse of the USA as a liberal power by providing an alternative vision? Watch this matter very closely. How it develops could be very consequential. It would have a big impact on the nature of international relations going forward.